Hello and welcome to Maggie's Fun Time. This is Magzie and we are back here on Farming Simulator 19. This is the quick start guide for No Man's Land. Um, I am doing two videos today. One is a mod list of the mods that I use, and I'm going to go over some stuff that's going to help you at the beginning of the game, especially if you're going to be starting with no money whatsoever and just a plot of land. All right. So, these are the mods I use. I'm going to go through them just by clicking over on the arrow key. You'll see lots of John Deere stuff on this. That is not specifically for the No Man's Land. I am running a John Deere farm on my personal playthrough of this, and I want to use everything that there's a John Deere thing of. So I've added in a few mods that have John Deere stuff in different categories. So just to be noted on that. Um, there's a couple of palettes that I like to use that are not default to the game, so I add those in. You want cheap equipment, especially if you're doing the start. If you're not doing the start where you start with nothing, it doesn't matter that much. But you want some cheap equipment, some cheap tractors that you could buy at the beginning of the game. You get At the beginning of the game, you get about 8 to 10,000 every time you do a run, and then run it through the sawmill. If you're going to use the sawmill, I'm going to suggest that you do not use the sawmill. Um, there, there's just I'll get into that in a minute. All right. So there's this coon mower that you can get at the beginning of the game. It's just hooks onto the side of your tractor. You need 10 horsepower to run it. It has a working width of 2 meters, and you can cut grass. And also, with this mod, I have the real mower mod also installed. And what that does is allows when you mow, it'll cut down bushes and flowers and stuff. It's just really annoying for it to be on the land. And it just cuts that down so it's not there anymore. So you just turn that on. It affects all mowers. Well, most mowers. There'll be a little icon there when you equip the mower to your any mower. If it's the one that equips to a tractor, or if it's an all-in-one mower, it'll have a little icon up there where you can click on that and turn on real mower, and it'll let you cut that down. Turn it off if you want to keep the bushes. It doesn't run all the time. Excuse me. I like my own storages, so I have some storages equipped in here. So liquid storages, and this storage everything liquid wise. So I like having that. Let's see here. We have a small what's this, a plow? I think this is a cultivator. A small cultivator. I have a few of those. I have silos that are a little bit cheaper. It's just tires on the field, and you can throw stuff in there. I don't suggest using silos on the ground unless you really have to at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, they're really cheap, and allows you to get silage. Unless you're going to start with the BGA, there's no real point in doing that. Some log cabins. Placeable farming silo, another one that I got. It just stores 300 capacity of grass, hay, straw, pig feed, and silage, mixed ration. You can also use a multi-fruit silo for that same purpose, so there's that. This is great. I love these two things here. This is a foraging wagon here. It runs 15 kph, sorry, and requires 40 horsepower. I've used it with all the tractors. Like it has 15,000 capacity when it's unfolded. It's great. It's super cheap too. Um, this is a planter. It's super cheap. It only requires 20 horsepower. And this is what you're looking for, guys. You want a gear if you're starting on your if you're starting with nothing, but like a chainsaw. Um, you're going to want equipment with low horsepower here because you're not going to be able to buy a big, huge horsepower tractor. You're going to have to go with tractors that have low horsepower, and there's not a lot of equipment in the game that requires low horsepower tractors. So you're going to have to add stuff in from the mod hub to cover that. So make sure you come in here and make sure that you download and install some mods for some gear in each category. Uh, um, I'll show you one that I used on my playthrough of this that I did. Like a cultivator, uh, if you want to get like like a I don't know what I can't remember what the hell they're called. It cultivates and plows at the same time. One of those things. Um, a seeder, uh, uh, a solid fertilizer spreader that actually does lime also, because there's not too many of those that does both. Make sure it's got a capacity for that's big enough that's going to like actually help you with lime. At the end of the day, you need lots and lots of room for lime, less than fertilizer, because it takes huge amounts of lime to lime a field, and you're going to be filling up like a huge amount of times. So just go through the different categories, make sure you have those equipped. I'll show you what I do. I have the lizard one here. This one does, uh, I believe it does both. One of these doesn't. I have a fuel tanker here. I get this. I lease it. You can buy it too. It's only 5,000. I get this at the beginning of the game. I fill it up, take it to your thing, so you don't have to keep driving back and forth to the thing. We'll go into that though. So I got a cheap fuel trailer in there. Um, what are you? I have cheap balers here. These are 5,000 a piece. Requires 120 horsepower. So if you're wanting to go with baling, it's just a cheap way to get a baling knocked out. It's supposed to be like a super old type of baler. I don't know. I've done another pallets mod. This is the, I love this thing. This is the cultivator that I use. 1,000, requires 20 horsepower, 2.5 meter work width. It comes in a variety of different style colors. It's great. Suitable for small and medium tractors. It's great for the beginning of the game. There's the rear mower mod. Definitely use this. Also, the lumberjack mod is something you want to use. This is another one of those. You just want to get a couple of these in there. Not all of them say whether they work with lime. So there's an older harvester. Give you an option there for cheaper harvester there. This is great. I love this one. There's also one that runs. There's another one from Global Company that you use. I like this one better. This is a fermenting silo. It does 8,000 per hour, and the capacity for it is 800,000. So, and it produces digestate when it turns stuff into silage, and your digestate capacity is 240. And then you can take your silage that it produces and then sell it. Um, Sell it to the biogas plant, the BGA, and make more digestate for it. Just at the beginning of the game, you don't have to buy fertilizer once you get your silage running. All right. This is kind of expensive, so you won't be able to get this if you're starting like with nothing at all. This is something you'll have to work up to. Just be mindful of that. Um, Another cheap harvester here. Yeah. This is a little mower that I added in. It's you actually you don't hook it up to anything. You actually get in this and mow. Um, this is a field creator pack. There's also a mod that lets you create fields with your uh, multi-plows and your cultivators. So make sure you get that equipped so you can do that. So you can create fields without having to use a plow to create them. It really helps out. This is one I added in for my Let's Plays when I have maps that have uh, contracts inside the game. No Man's Land doesn't have default contracts in there. I need to do some testing to see if you create a field on a piece of land and then sell that land back, if there'll be contracts that come up due for that. This is the Fiat pack. It's a cheap version for a um, tractors. This is a placeable silo that stores seed, fertilizer, and lime. So you can buy it in bulk and then bring it back from the store and not have to make multiple trips. I don't like doing like stationary objects. There is one in the game where you can just buy it from that, but I don't like using those. I like to be able to bring it back to my farm in bulk and then place it in something so I can use it. Plus the little shops that it's like this one. Here's just a straight up shop where you buy fertilizer and stuff from. But it's usually more expensive to do that, to buy it from them in the long run. So I, am taking this one off. I added it on for another problem that I was having and it didn't work out. Got some other tractors equipped, but I hunted through. I got auto loaders. I cannot stack bales on a pallet on a trailer. I can't do it. This is one I suggest. There's lots of equipment in here, and they're really cheap. The Ferguson pack. Download this. Use this tractor to begin and sell it when you don't need it. There is a higher horsepower tractor, which is two of them linked together. It's got multiple wheels on it, and that'll give you a little bit more horsepower than you start out with. This is a pretty good one to use at the beginning of the game, especially if you're starting with nothing. There's another fertilizer spreader. This is a pretty good one to use in the game. It's super cheap, and you can link these together to make like a big, huge uh, seeder. And it's a drill, so you don't have to cultivate. You can just drill straight from this. And it also has fertilizer in it, so you can fertilize and seed at the same time, which gives you one fertilizer state, which means all you have to do is just spray once after you're done planting. It's great. So there's that. I don't play with seed. I don't play with weeds on, so there you go. Trying to think if there's something else that you would need. There's another harvester that I've got equipped into the game. I've added these in because I loved using those back in the day, so they're in the game for round bales. I don't know why the toolbox. Definitely get the toolbox. It's a super cheap version to repair stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go out and back to this screen here. I'm gonna cut the video here. This is gonna be the next episode. Just quick, what mods I use. You guys can look at that. Also, go in there, look at mods that you need. Decide what kind of equipment that you're gonna need cheap versions of at the beginning of the game. Like if you're not gonna bother with liming until you're later on in the game, just because you think it's too expensive to do that. I mean, it's on you. Then you don't need to get a fertilizer spreader from the mod hub, because there's one in the game that will cover that, just fertilizer spreading, and it's already a cheap version, but it doesn't do lime, so So, and if you're not going to do lime, just use that one. So just decide what equipment you want. Make sure you get cheap versions of that if you're actually going to start with like zero money, and just work the farm up that way. Okay? Uh, if you like this episode, make sure you smack that like button. It really helps out the channel. If you subscribe to my channel, send notifications when I have new videos out. You guys can come check it out, see if you like it. If you like this episode, you want to share it with your friends, tell them what you like. There's a share tab down below. Click on the share tab, copy the link, post it on your Facebook, Twitter, wherever you do social media. If you have any tips, tricks, or comments, put it down in the comments down below. Don't forget to follow me on my social media pages. Don't forget to set your notification settings for the channel using the notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. I'm recording the next episode right after this one, so you'll get 2 today. Just throw that out there again.